Hey, it's Charlie from Charlie Reads and Reviews, and I'm here with another book review, and this time it's of this book, The Lie of 1652, A Decolonized History of Land by Patrick Tariq Mellett. This is a book that was published by Tafelberg, which is an imprint of NB Publishers, a South African-based publishing house, and I read the paperback version, which is 336 pages long. So in this foundational book on African history, pre- and post-colonization and apartheid, Mellett seeks to debunk 5 myths that have been perpetuated to this day to justify the theft of land, the genocide of peoples, and the continued subjugation of the marginalized in South Africa. He uses several fields to debunk these myths, namely history, archaeology, genetics, linguistics, anthropology, climatology, social and oral history, and most importantly, rock art. The 5 myths that he debunks are: 1. The colonial myth that the 17th century Southern Africa was a land empty of Africans when the Europeans landed. 2. That the first encounter that the Khoi Confederation of people in what would eventually, in the Cape Peninsula of what would eventually be called South Africa, with Europeans was in 1652 with Jan van Riebeeck and co. when they landed. 3. That the Cape Peninsula indigenes did not fight against land dispossession. 4. That the land was only made productive once the Europeans began their activities of seizure of that land in the 17th century. And 5, that people classified as colored and natives as per the colonization groupings of people, and which was later refined during apartheid, were in no way or shape kind of connected or related to each other, creating a division amongst them. And secondly, that as a grouping they have very little or no connection to the rest of the African continent, really solidifying their de-Africanization. This is an information-heavy book. It is written quite academically, which you can note with all those different fields that I mentioned earlier. And so I would encourage you that when you read it, to take your time to take all that information in. I do believe that this is a foundational read that has to be incorporated into the South African schooling curriculum, but that it needs to be adapted appropriately for the audience that would be consuming this information. And I feel that it's a must-read for all Africans. All Africans must read this, but in particular, South Africans. And anyone who is interested in learning about what a certain part of Africa, in particular certain parts of what would eventually be called South Africa, was like pre, during, and post colonization and apartheid. And anyone who is looking to decolonize their education and mind about the world in general, this is a foundational read.